What's up, guys? It's your boy back at you with another video. You get me? For those of you unaware what this YouTube channel is, this is basically where I'm developing solo. Well, depending on when you see this video and how long I've been around, considering these videos are in the ether forever, I'm basically a solo game developer at the point of making this video. But who knows what I'm doing when you see this video. But right now, guys, I had this idea to talk about how to teach yourself to do game design, game development, how to this isn't necessarily specific to Unreal either, to be honest, when I think about it, because all game engines are very similar. So essentially, I want to start kind of sharing some of the things I've learned to, if I can make it a little bit easier for others, then this is what I'm trying to do with this video. So how to teach yourself game design. So it's not a step-for-step plan, and it's most definitely not easy, guys. Basically, to be honest, the level of persistence it takes to actually learn this, in any capacity, in my opinion, is going to weed out most of you. You get me? Because most people just ain't willing to deal with the nonsense that comes with trying to make a game. And I haven't even published a game. At the point of posting this video, I haven't even published a game yet. But funnily enough, I've made a couple, just like in the background. None of them have actually been 100% polished, but I feel like I've made enough of these little projects now to I can confidently say I can at least make something. You get me? So I might not 100% be qualified, but I wanted to talk about this. Doing this video is kind of going to lead me on to another video in the future, which is how I taught myself to use Unreal Engine, essentially. But yeah, the level of persistence, guys, is unbelievable, because it is definitely one of the hardest things to teach, especially to self-teach. But to be honest, if you don't self-teach in doing this, it will take you too long. I think, like, if you went to university, college, and this might be a controversial concept, but I think it would just take too long if you don't do the work yourself. If, like, you just went to college and half-assed this, and things are changing all the time as well. By the time you finish the college course and learn something, the new version of Unreal's come out anyway, and those old inputs that you learn at university don't exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's a thing that even with education, you've kind of got to teach yourself this stuff, and that's basically what it comes down to, guys. Is it's an hours thing. In the way I approached it, after, like, discovering how hard it was going to be, in the early days, there was definitely a moment of, like, is it even worth it? Because in the beginning, I was like, this might be something that I'm not able to do. You know what I mean? Because it was so, on the surface level, anyway, it looked so complicated. But the truth is, guys, once you actually get comfortable with staring at your engine, it's not that complicated, and you understand the things you need to make what you need. It's not that complicated. But, like, coming at it day one, it can be like, rah. This is what people be doing to make games. I thought it was a dragon. I don't know what I thought game design was, or game development was, before I used Unreal, but I kind of had an idea in my head, but I don't think I realized how, like, petty is the word. How petty everything is. Like, everything has been basically, unless you're using Roblox Engine. My son started using Roblox Engine recently, but unless you're using Roblox Engine, it's petty. So the biggest tip, to be honest, guys, is hours in. You get me? So you've got to put in a crazy amount of input, and then over time, it's like you don't know what you don't know until you know. And then when you've spent enough time in the engine, now you just know. And I know that sounds stupid, guys, but a lot of it's like mental blocks, like, or just a lack of understanding. Which brings me to my next point, guys, which is as early, and the other people have said this, as early as possible in your journey. Well, first of all, other than like the initial day one where like you literally have no clue what game development is, and you go onto YouTube and you find a tutorial and it's like, make your first game. To be honest, when I first started, I wasn't even at the level of making my first game, because I couldn't even do that. Like, I needed other tutorials before I got to that. But by the time you get to the point of making your first game and you follow that tutorial on how to make your first game, don't ever do a tutorial like that again. That would be the quickest way to go from beginner to being able to do anything, is just totally skip the phase of copying. So do your initial video of how to make your first game, and then after that, just go for it. Basically, you could, how I would do it is I would do that first video and I would customize it to be something that's my own, and then delete that project and start again. You get me? And then that's the beginning of your journey there. So another important thing to mention, guys, is don't use templates. Don't get other people's templates in any way, in my opinion. Templates are for people who know what they're doing, if you ask me, because you have to work backwards through these people's work to improve on it. Anyway, don't use templates. Start from a blank project, and that's going to teach you everything you need to know, because there's nothing there. There's literally a blank project, there's nothing there. Alright, how do I add a character? How do I do the character movement? Alright, there's nothing in the world. How do I add like items to pick up? Oh, and then that leads you to having a base class and using like a hierarchy system of some kind, and then that brings you to all the data storage options, and then things get crazy. You get me? But that's it. Basically, begin the ball rolling. Once the ball is rolling, open up a blank project in Unreal and begin. This video isn't about what I did, this is about how you can actually, how to actually teach yourself. So essentially, hours in, quick tutorial thing, straight onto a blank project, and then piece together tutorials from there. So you can, and I have to mention a little bit of how I did it. Is essentially I just got a blank project, figured out how to do character movement, because I essentially realized these games are built up of lots of different things put together. There's no one way to do it. So I got a blank project and I figured out how to do character movement with animations and stuff, and then over time I realized animations is taken away from a lot of my time of how to learn to use Unreal. So I got rid of the animations, and essentially I made my character a cube. So there's no nothing, just the cube needs to move. And then I figured out character movement, and then I figured out everything else from there. So character movement, like picking items up, and then somewhere in between doing these things you realize, or you don't even realize, you just want to, you will want to try something yourself, and then it just leads you down a path and you mess it up. And then there's only so many times, it's like trial and error. I did this once, it didn't work, let me do it this way. And honestly, through doing that process of trial and error, you will just learn how to use your engine. And then once you learn how to use your engine, then you can start backpedaling and filling in gaps in your knowledge. And that's the best advice I can give, because right now I'm at a point in my game development journey where I'm actually able to go back and teach myself things which I've missed. And that's it. So you push forwards to a point of where your knowledge fails you, and then when your knowledge fails you, you take yourself back, teach yourself that piece of knowledge, and then push forwards. To be honest, that is really the only way it would work, because to teach yourself something, like for example, you come into Unreal and then the first thing you're looking at is interfaces. You can't really conceptualize what an interface is, because you don't know in what circumstance you'll be using it, and the circumstance they're using in the video don't make sense because you've never done it before. And that, I don't even know if that statement makes sense right there, guys, but essentially you don't know what you don't know. You have to be in a circumstance on Unreal where you need something and you don't have it. For example, I got myself to a point building a project, following all the tutorials in the world, and I started building out some sort of inventory system, essentially a way to pick up weapons and store the data. And I ended up going down the rabbit hole of data tables, which everyone's going to do. You're all going to go down data tables. Turns out data tables didn't work for what I needed. And they don't really explain a lot of this in tutorials, because they make a tutorial and then they move on to the next thing. And you're left there like, what's going on? Yeah, mate. But essentially, the reason I couldn't use data tables, because you might not know this, because you can kind of force changes. Say like you've got a date. Well, let's just get onto the point. The data tables are read-only, essentially, guys. Now, this isn't going to make any sense if you knew. I promise you it won't make any sense, but it's read-only. You might think you understand, if you don't understand. Essentially, in the game, think of it like this: when you shoot in your machine gun, every time you pop off a bullet, somewhere in your inventory or your character's data, your bullets are going down if you're counting bullets. So you've got 100 bullets when you start the game. I shoot a shot, now I've got 99 bullets. Somewhere in Unreal you have to basically change that figure from 100 bullets to 99 bullets. You can't do that in the data table. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, I've basically gone down a rabbit hole for no reason. But I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let me just, because I don't want to eat my words, we'll ask Google AI, which people are probably going to hate on me for, but I love these AI things. I like Copilot, but it keeps crashing on me and not responding. So let me just quickly check. What was it? Are data tables read only in UE5? Also, guys, I feel like I'm slightly to the left on this. In Unreal Engine 5, data tables are strictly read-only at runtime. Okay, that at runtime is important, because at runtime, while the game's playing, you're shooting, your bullets are going down, you can't like, you're gonna get an error, so you're gonna say like something like get row name, try and reduce whatever. If you've got a structure in there called like pistol data, you're gonna try and reduce that, and it's gonna spit back an error saying, I don't know what the error is gonna say. It's gonna say like it can't, like in something, it's just gonna come up with a red line of error code talking about it can't. I can't remember the specific word it will use, but you'll get this error a lot. It's essentially when like you've not referenced something correct and it's not getting the data. It's gonna crash out on you. So you're gonna have a problem there. People won't mention this in the tutorials. You might have ran into this issue, but essentially, the only other alternative to this I found is, and there may be other ways. Maybe I've not discovered something in Unreal yet, but it's basically data assets. A data asset is essentially, there's all these different like types of blueprints in Unreal, right? And this is why you need to be in there to experience it. There's different types of blueprints, and each one has its own perks. Like a normal blueprint is just where you can like add a static mesh or something, and then you've got a data asset, which is another form of blueprint, which you can essentially, if you've got a pistol here as a normal blueprint, then you've got the data asset to the pistol, which stores all the information about the pistol, and you just kind of link them or assume they're the same. That's the best I can put it. And these data tables are read and write, so whilst you're playing the game, like when I pull the trigger at the end of that line of code, I can say something like, get the pistol, get the structure within, get the pistol data table, sorry, not data table, get the pistol data asset, and then inside that data asset you can add variables like whatever amount of bullets, and inside that I can like reduce one every time I shoot, and it's going to be fine. It's going to store the information. It kind of works like a game instance, so it holds data for a minute. Don't quote me exactly how it holds that, but it's enough for it to just help you out. Yeah, man. So, yeah. I'm not 100% sure what the beginning of that point was, but essentially, guys, things like this, you have to be in Unreal to know. You will have to use these tutorials, but you just use them strategically. And in your head, you're going to have to believe that you're going to make it to the end of the project to be able to dig and find the next bit of information. But there's only so many of these hurdles before it does get easier. And when it starts to get easier, it's beginning to get fun. And I believe in my journey now, I'm getting to the point where it's good because like I'll have an issue and I'm like, it's fine. I'll work back and find the issue, and I'll implement changes, and there's some bugs. Also, guys, there's all bug means in game design. This took me a while to figure out because I wasn't sure if I was having bugs or like whatever. Is all the bug is 99% of the time it's human error somewhere where you've messed something up and the game's not performing how you want it to. That's all a bug is. So essentially, guys, that's what you have to do. Don't do the template thing. Don't do the weeks and weeks of following random tutorials. In the beginning, don't just listen to information and assume you're taking it in, because that's something that comes with understanding. You can't learn just from hearing without having experience. Let me try and fix my OBS. I can't do it while I'm just trying to get my camera in a better place, guys. Bear with me. The room as well in the background, guys. Essentially, I buy and sell on eBay as well. So that's why the room looks like this. So basically, guys, that's kind of all I've got to say. Without making this a rant, you know what I mean? I just wanted to essentially tell people how to actually learn, because a lot of people going around it the right way. There's no shortcut. Like, I know when you first start, you're gonna be like, I want to make like when I started, and I'm still in this like kind of space now. Zombie games got me, zombie survival games, and this kind of is what gets a lot of people into it. These massively multiplayer, you get me? Like, there's that game that come out the day before and it was like game changing game, and then like it was a fake game, or like the guy wasn't or the couple of people who made it wasn't able to deliver, and then they flopped it. A lot of us come from that kind of energy, you get me? Like, oh, I'm gonna make the next great thing, and like you can actually make the next great thing if you're the one, but you ain't gonna make the next great thing in a month. You ain't gonna make the next great thing in a year. You ain't gonna make the next great thing in 2 years. And I know this from experience because I've been trying to, in my head, make my touch on the game industry. And there's too many lessons to learn, basically. There's too many lessons to learn. You can't do it fast because you have to make the mistake, and to make that mistake it might take months of development to make the mistake, and that's a sad thing to say. And to be honest, thinking back, it's a little bit like I've lost a lot to like learning this trade, you get me? Like, I've lost a lot of time. I've lost a lot of time, guys. I've spent a lot of time. Essentially, it feels like wasted time, but it's not. It's what it took to get to here. So don't think too deep into it like that. If you want to make games, you want to be creative, and this is something you want to do, you've got to put in the hours. Don't make as many sacrifices in terms of hours as me, because I've spent a lot of time sat here where I am right now, learning this. You could probably do it in like less hours in a day. My advice would be lots of short bursts with breaks, to be honest, because I've had breaks. I call it like burnout, but it's not. Essentially, my PC's broken down 3 or 4 times along this journey, and I've not had the finances to repair it or whatever. So that's been my breaks, and every time I've come back after one of those breaks, I've come back better, refreshed, not pissed off because I'm stuck. And essentially, every time I come back, I scrap the last project and start again. This time, I've done the same thing, but I feel stronger this time. I feel like I've retained a lot of the knowledge. I'm rested up, and like, my brain's not fogged, and I'm actually absorbing a lot more this time. So yeah, so basically guys, that's all I've got to say on this subject. Hopefully that's helped someone out there. I think it will, because there's not a lot of this stuff out there. A lot of people, the actual truth is you need to make stuff, and you need to spend a lot of hours doing what you're doing. And depending on what you want to do, you might just want to be an animator or whatever, then spend time doing that. But for me, my goal, and it's probably taken me longer, if you're just like a niched down developer in some way, animator, you just do UI, you just do the code, and everyone, you get other people to do other things. It would be quicker to do that, but I didn't actually have a goal to do that. My goal was, I'm gonna make a game. I'm gonna make a game. And it's taken me like probably a year and a half, probably 2 years, maybe more, of actually getting to the point of now where I'm comfortable enough to, and I say comfortable enough, that's just come because I've got like experience in other areas as well, guys, which has helped. But I feel like I'm comfortable enough to do something now, whereas I wasn't a year ago, 2 years ago. I was basically faking it till I make it, which I'm still doing now, but turns out I can kind of back it up because I'm working my way forwards, and as long as I'm doing that, then it stays real for me. God damn it! So yeah, I haven't hit any roadblocks yet, guys, and that's it. Just go and hit these roadblocks. You're gonna quit. You're probably going to quit a couple times, but it takes you to quit, and then you'll be like, I want to like get back on Unreal and have another go. And then you come back, and then you're better, and then your PC's gonna break, your project's gonna break, you're gonna give up and be like, it's a waste of time. But if it keeps pulling you back, it's because there's something there. If it doesn't keep pulling you back, then you won't worry about it because you'll be on to the next thing. You get me? But this world, for me, something clicks for me because I've always been at the computer, graphic designing, making music videos, making YouTube videos, Photoshop this, doing that, messing around here, and then this is my comfort space anyway, so this just makes sense for me to do, and I think that's the type of person that it takes to do this. This is where you're comfortable at here at the computer. You'll be fine. If you're not comfortable here and you want to be outside, this ain't for you. Yeah, but other than that, guys, I appreciate everyone who's rolled through. Subscribe to the channel. I'm making my own game right now, if I didn't mention in this video. Check out my Twitter, check out my Patreon. I'll put them up on screen, but they'll be down in the description too when YouTube allows me. But I ain't got a history right now, so YouTube ain't letting me do nothing. But other than that, I don't know if I was saying something and then I forgot to finish my sentence, but I do that often. I appreciate everyone. Yeah, check out my other videos because I'm developing a game. That's what I was saying. I'm developing a top-down zombie survival extraction game. That's basically going to be the realm I'm working in, like apocalyptic, pre-smartphone games. You get me? That's the era we're setting. Pre-smartphone, apocalyptic shooters. You get me? With my twist, whatever that is. VHS grain thing. If that's something you guys are interested in, then stay tuned. Other than that, if you want to play some Zelda games, then this probably ain't the channel. Like some Pokemon replicas, this ain't the channel. Anime, this ain't the channel. Some realistic shooter games, that's me. But other than that, you know what? I felt an urge recently to do like reload animations, even though I'm doing a top-down game. Like I was like, that would bring some spice to my portfolio. But yeah, anyway, other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. I keep looking at myself in OBS when I should be looking at the camera. I did better this video though, I think. I did look at the camera sometimes. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like the video, subscribe.